Oh, hello, baby. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, how Christmas are your trees. Ow. Oh, hey. It's New Year's Eve 2020, and what a year it has been. It's been a roller coaster of a year. Honestly, there's been ups, and then there's been like real downs. But then you come back up, but then you go down, and then you go, and then you do a loopity loop roller coaster. It's been mental. Honestly, this year started off terribly. I was horrifically sick. I woke up on New Year's Day with what we now think may have been COVID. I was like really sick for like 2 weeks, just sweating profusely with fever. I couldn't taste or smell anything, and I had lasting respiratory issues as a result.
I guess the reason I've been doing these Instagram quizzes from my sick bed is because you get the little box above your head, and so it masks whatever the fuck this is. Jesus, like it defies gravity. Like even when I sit up, it's just still having the crack.
But then on the plus side, I got to go to Florida with the Tri-Channel. I can't believe I'm even saying that. That happened this flippin' year. It feels about 17 years ago, but no, that I was absolutely ridiculously lucky to have the chance to. They're letting fireworks off outside, and it's not even midnight yet. Stop it. Shh. It was the trip of a lifetime, honestly. I still go back and watch videos about once every 2 weeks and just cry my heart out because I miss the amazing time that we had together. We all, as a group, we all became really, really close. Kelly, Colin, Sean, Dermot, Justine, like just the most amazing group of people, and amazingly supportive throughout the year as well. It's been I don't know what to say about it because it was just the best time. And do you know what? I adore the Tri-Channel. Like, fair play, lads. You're doing a stellar job. All of you, producers and contributors, you really just bringing joy in a time of crisis, and that's wonderful. And I really hope I get to take part again at some stage in 2021, because that'd be really cool. I suppose the big thing in 2020 was that I moved to New Zealand. Surprise! It wasn't the intention either. What had happened was I came to play a festival, and then I came a bit early to visit my best friend who lives in Queenstown, and then the festival was cancelled, and I was like, things getting a bit COVID-y over here, better go home. I've just booked my flights home from New Zealand, and as crappy as it is, and as gutted as I am to have flown all the way over to the other side of the world only to fly back a week later, I know that the way things are at the moment, my safest bet is to be back home in Ireland. Pretty much since I've arrived, there's been an awful lot of talk about closing borders and airlines reducing the number of flights or even ceasing to fly completely. And as well as that, coronavirus has been spreading an awful lot since I arrived. I didn't bring it here, I swear, okay? But I had a big old cry on Wednesday night because I kind of knew deep down that I was going to have to go home. And then yesterday I felt a little bit more positive. I was like, yeah, I could stay here. I've got savings. I could just weather it out. It'll be fine. And then by yesterday night, it became very apparent that not only should I go home, but that if I was to go home, I'd have to move pretty pronto. So I spent the day kind of researching flights that weren't going to cripple me financially, because they're just going up and up in price, because airlines use a dicks. But I've found them. Just about to board my flight to Melbourne from Queenstown, leaving New Zealand,
Heading for Dublin.
And I tried to fly home, and as I was transiting through Auckland, all of the flights were just kaput, and I ended up stuck in Auckland. They're letting off more fire. It's not like it's 10:30. They're gonna piss through all their fireworks, and then they'll be like, "Oh, no fireworks for midnight. Oh, what am I gonna do?" And I'm gonna be like, "Ha!" It was really scary because when I landed in Auckland, the police arrived into the airport and were like, "Hey, did everyone hear the announcement? We're going into lockdown." Blah! And it was really apocalyptic. It was like what's that? The Purge. It was like The Purge, but instead of everyone trying to kill each other, everyone's trying to not kill each other. I got a phone call from my mother's cousin, and she was like, "Hey, I think we've met once. You're coming to live with us." And like, there are no words. The most kindest, most generous, loving people you would ever meet in the world. Just such a fantastic family. Ruth and Russ and Sam and Tom. Just amazing. I spent lockdown with them, and I don't think I could have done it any other way. These are like just everything. I can't put into words how grateful I am and how brilliant they've been and how lovely it was, and just everything about them. I felt at home immediately, and that's a hard thing for anyone to feel when they're that far away from home. Russ had picked me up, and we were driving back to the house, and he was pointing at landmarks like, "Oh, there's the Sky Tower and we're on the Harbour Bridge," and I was just like, oh, I was just in such a state of shock from having all of my flights cancelled. I booked so many flights, all of them kaput, and I'd hoofed a few Valium into me as well, because I was like, we come up to the front door, and there's a sign on it that says "Chien lunatique," which means mad dog. And I went, do you have a dog here? And he said, "Yeah, we have a dog and a cat." And he pushed the door open, and I was greeted by two incredible animals. Bam the dog and Marlo the cat. I actually feel really emotional about that. Where would you be without animals? Like, honestly, like, they just make everything better.
Hey, Bam. You want some breakfast? Do you want some breakfast? Oh, the lolly boy will get you breakfast. Oh, we'll get you breakfast. Yeah. Let's get some breakfast. Put it in the microwave, cause it's really cold. And then we'll get some breakfast. Hello.
Bam was quite an old dog, and he was very, very sick. And shortly after the first lockdown, he had to go to sleep. And it's still very, very raw for my family, my whānau. He's an absolutely brilliant dog, and I love hearing the stories about him. I think that's such an important thing, that even though someone is gone, you still have your memories. And then the cat. What can we say about the cat? Marlo! Look at this handsome boy. You have been my saving grace here, do you know that? You've been my best friend. You really, and my worst enemy. Nothing to do. You're so handsome. You're so... Oh, I love you so much. I'm going to presume that means I love you too. Be your toasty. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Good boy. So I locked down in New Zealand with this incredible family and their incredible pets, and I had incredible people back home that kept me company through it all as well. There were friends who would get up early so they could talk to me at nighttime over here. I had friends who got me up early so I could drink cans with them at 7 a.m. and be absolutely hammered by 10 a.m. I had friends who would stay up till ridiculous hours of the morning just to come and chat shy with me. And then my family, who, has to be said, have the noisiest Zoom quizzes going. We're here like, you know, eyes barely open, 7:30 in the morning, being like, coffee, yes, very, very good. They're like, Prosecco o'clock, what's the capital of Canada? And these are the people who really, really helped me through lockdown. The great thing about all these wonderful people who kept in contact is that although I was on the other side of the world, I never really felt that far from home. So thank you for that. They're letting off fire. I'm trying to be sincere over here. These are early, lads. I am so thankful to be living in New Zealand right now. And yeah, we had a couple of lockdowns, but in the grand scheme of things, this is by far one of the safest countries in the world to live in. And I am here. I am working here. And I'm gigging here. I'm a comedian and I'm able to gig. That's not a sort of, to throw that in the face of any of the other comedians who, Christ, I know they must be struggling right now. It's just a way of me saying that I'm ridiculously thankful for the situation I'm in. And to the New Zealand comedy scene, the Auckland comedy scene in particular. It's just the most funny, welcoming, encouraging and supportive comedy scenes I've ever come across. And I'm so thankful for it.
Please welcome to the stage, Lolsy, Byrne, everybody!
I knew coming over here I didn't have any real following at all, and it's very humbling to have to go back to your roots, start from scratch, rewrite things, write new things, and prove your worth as a comedian, and not sort of sit back on a name that you've made for yourself. You really have to work hard, and it's been a really refreshing experience, and it's been amazing to connect with people in the comedy scene over here. And what a fantastic bunch of people they are. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for accepting this stupid little Irish gremlin into your ranks. I'm eternally grateful. I would not be here if it wasn't for you. There's a fucking helicopter now. Chill your tits, man, will you? New Year's helicopters, like. This year has been a real roller coaster. Like on it, and I mean that there's been so many ups and downs. Like one minute you're flying high, like literally flying high on your way to perform at a festival on the other side of the world, and then the next minute you find out your best friend is an abusive predator. You know, things happen. And then today happened, and I woke up and sore throat, cough, dry cough, bad headache, fever. And I went, oh shit. We've come full circle, and I'm finishing 2020 as I started. Sick. Because these are symptoms of COVID. I felt it was my responsibility to get a COVID test. And so I did. They're not fun. I managed to make it the whole way through 2020 without needing to get and on the last day of 2020, I end up having to get a test, which I have to isolate until I get the results, which means I'm home alone on New Year's Eve. And do you want to know what the worst part of it is? It's about a 20-minute walk home, and I got sunburned. I got sunburned walking home from my COVID test. Look at that. Look at it. So feck it. I don't know about you, but I've had a glass of wine and 2 paracetamol, and I am ready to rock. Let's go. Ready, Marlo? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! There's fireworks going off behind the tree. Yeah! Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll drink a cup of kind, yeah, Dave.